Hello, my friends. Welcome to Daily English Story. Today, I want to tell you a story you probably don't know, the real story of McDonald's. We see the golden arches everywhere. We buy the burgers, the fries, the Happy Meals. But behind this familiar brand is a tale of vision, betrayal, and ambition. It all began with two brothers who wanted to make the perfect burger system. And it ended with one man who turned their small dream into a global empire, while leaving the brothers behind. This is the untold story of McDonald's. It was the 1940s in San Bernardino, California. The sun was hot, the cars were shiny, and America was in love with drive-in diners. People would park their cars, wait for waitresses on roller skates, and order burgers, fries, and milkshakes. But there was a problem. The food was slow. The orders were often wrong. Families could wait half an hour just to get a simple hamburger. Two brothers, Richard and Maurice McDonald, people called them Dick and Mac, thought to themselves, there has to be a better way. So they tried something radical. They closed down their busy drive-in and built something completely new. Instead of waitresses and long menus, they created a kitchen that worked like a factory line. Each cook had one job. One person grilled the patties, another added toppings, another wrapped the burgers. Nothing fancy, just fast, cheap, and the same every time. They called it the speedy service system. And it worked. A hamburger cost only 15 cents, less than half the price of most diners. Customers didn't wait 30 minutes anymore. They got their food in 30 seconds. Families lined up around the block, curious to see this new kind of restaurant. But here's the catch. While the brothers were happy with their small success, they didn't know that this little experiment would soon shake the entire world of food. In 1954, a traveling milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc walked into the McDonald brothers' small restaurant. At this point, Ray was over 50 years old. He had spent his whole life selling paper cups, blenders, and milkshake mixers. He wasn't rich. He wasn't young. He wasn't even very successful. But when Ray Kroc saw the McDonald's system, his eyes lit up. He watched in amazement as burgers, fries, and shakes flew out of the kitchen in seconds. He saw families smiling, kids laughing, and cars lined up down the street. And in that moment, he realized something the brothers didn't. This wasn't just a small burger stand. This was the future. Ray asked the brothers, "Why haven't you expanded? Why not open more McDonald's all over the country?" The brothers shrugged. They liked things small. They didn't want the stress of managing dozens of stores. But Ray was different. He was hungry. He was ambitious. He told them, "Let me be the one to take McDonald's everywhere." The brothers agreed, cautiously. They gave him the rights to franchise their system. At first, it seemed like a simple deal. Ray would sell their idea to the world, and they'd all get rich together. But neither side knew how much this decision would change their lives. For the brothers, it was the beginning of losing control. For Ray, it was the beginning of building an empire. At first, things looked promising. Ray Kroc set out to sell the McDonald's idea across America. He opened the first franchise in Des Plaines, Illinois in 1955. He even put up a big neon sign with two golden arches, something the original brothers never had. But soon, Ray faced a big problem. Other franchise owners didn't care about quality. They wanted profits. Some cut corners, buying cheaper meat, adding longer menus, or letting the fries get soggy. To Ray, this was unacceptable. He had promised the McDonald brothers he would protect their system. Burgers, fries, shakes, fast, cheap, and consistent every single time. So Ray became a perfectionist. He would drive thousands of miles to visit franchise stores. If he saw a burger wrapped the wrong way, he would yell. If the fries weren't golden, he would make the owner redo them. There's even a story of Ray walking into one store, tasting the fries, and spitting them out. The owner had used frozen potatoes to save money. Ray slammed his hand on the counter and shouted, "That's not McDonald's." To fix this, Ray created something new: training schools. He built Hamburger University, where managers learned every detail, from how long to grill a patty to the exact salt on the fries. For Ray, McDonald's was not just about food. It was about a system that never failed. But while Ray pushed for expansion, the brothers resisted. They thought he was going too far, too fast. They worried about losing the family feel of their little stand. One day, during a heated meeting, Ray begged them, "You don't seem to realize what you have here. The whole country could be eating your food." But Dick McDonald replied, "We're just not interested in being that big." That was the moment Ray realized, if he wanted to build the empire in his head, he would have to fight the very men who created it. By the early 1960s, Ray Kroc had already opened hundreds of McDonald's restaurants across America. People loved the Golden Arches. Families stopped by after church. Kids begged their parents for Happy Meals, and teenagers used the parking lot as a hangout spot. But behind the smiles and milkshakes, there was war. The McDonald brothers were tired of Ray's constant pushing. They wanted to stay small, local, and comfortable. Ray wanted global domination. The clash became unbearable. So Ray made a bold move. He offered to buy the brothers out. After weeks of negotiation, they agreed on a price: $2.7 million. That was enough to give each brother $1 million after taxes, plus a comfortable retirement. The deal also included an annual royalty, half of 1% of all future sales. But here's the twist: that royalty was never written into the contract. According to Ray, it was a handshake deal. The brothers trusted him. But later, when the papers were signed, the royalty disappeared. If that handshake promise had been honored, the McDonald brothers' family would have earned billions of dollars over the decades. Instead, they got nothing beyond the original buyout. After the deal, Ray moved fast. He built a new McDonald's headquarters, put his name as founder on the official documents, and slowly erased the brothers from the story. The original McDonald's restaurant in San Bernardino, Ray forced them to rename it. The brothers called it the Big M. Within a year, Ray opened a brand new McDonald's right across the street. The Big M didn't survive. In the end, the brothers retired quietly, while Ray became the face of McDonald's worldwide. And that's how a small burger stand in California turned into a global empire, but at the cost of betrayal and broken trust. After the buyout, Ray Kroc finally had full control of McDonald's, and he wasted no time turning his vision into reality. In the 1960s and 70s, McDonald's exploded across the United States. The Golden Arches became more than just a restaurant sign. They became a symbol of modern life. A road trip didn't feel complete without a McDonald's stop. Kids begged for fries, families lined up for burgers, and teenagers treated McDonald's like a second home. But Ray didn't stop at America. He had a bigger dream: McDonald's everywhere. In 1967, the first international McDonald's opened in Canada. Then came Japan, Germany, Australia, and France. No matter where you went, the formula was the same. A clean restaurant, the same Big Mac, the same fries, the same smile, and it worked. The Golden Arches became the most recognized logo in the world, even more than the Christian Cross or Coca-Cola. People began calling McDonald's not just a restaurant, but a cultural phenomenon. Ray also introduced clever marketing. Remember Ronald McDonald, the clown? That was his idea. The company also invented the Happy Meal, giving kids not just food, but toys. Suddenly, McDonald's wasn't just selling burgers, it was selling happiness. But there was a darker side, too. As McDonald's grew, critics started asking questions. Was fast food making people unhealthy? Was McDonald's crushing local businesses? Could one company have too much influence over how the world eats? Ray Kroc didn't care much about the critics. For him, the mission was simple: serve billions. His famous quote summed it up. If I had a brick for every time I've repeated the phrase quality, service, cleanliness, and value, I think I'd probably be able to bridge the Atlantic Ocean with him. By the time Ray Kroc passed away in 1984, McDonald's had more than 7,500 restaurants worldwide, serving millions of people every day. His empire was complete. So, what do we make of this story? On one hand, McDonald's is a symbol of genius. Two brothers created a system that changed the way the world eats. And Ray Kroc, with his relentless ambition, turned that system into one of the most powerful brands in history. But on the other hand, it's also a story of loss. The brothers who invented the idea ended up with almost nothing. Ray, the outsider, became the founder in the history books. It makes us ask, what matters more, having the idea or having the drive to push it into the world? Today, when you walk into a McDonald's, you're not just buying a burger and fries. You're buying into a story, a vision, betrayal, ambition, and the unstoppable spread of an idea. It's the taste of both opportunity and sacrifice, and maybe that's why the Golden Arches shine so brightly. They remind us of how far an idea can go, and how high the cost of success can be. So next time you see those arches on the side of the road, think of the brothers who built it, and the man who took it further than anyone imagined. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like, share it with someone who loves history, and subscribe to Daily English Story. Every week, we bring you stories that not only help you learn English, but also make you see the world in a new way.